The wake-up slap. Everyone wants to win until winning demands something ugly from them. You say you want change. You say you want power, wealth, respect. But when discomfort shows up at your door sweating, screaming, dressed in hardship, you don't open it. You pull the covers over your head and call it self-care. Let me be blunt. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Every time you retreat into ease, you bury your potential a little deeper. You want to know why your goals feel so far away? Why every year feels like a copy-paste version of the last? Because you've made a habit out of quitting the second it hurts. And here's the brutal truth. Pain is the price of evolution. And if you're not willing to pay it, you'll stay exactly where you are. See, we've raised a generation of men who think peace is found in pleasure, but it's not. Peace is earned through war, through sacrifice, through enduring the fire and refusing to bow. This video isn't going to coddle you. It's going to confront you. It's going to show you the truth that most people are too afraid to hear. If you want to live a prestigious life, you must become a man who finds home inside hell. Because once you stop avoiding the hard things, once you choose the pain, walk into the fire and stay standing, you become unstoppable. And stick with me until the end, because I'm going to share one truth that most men never discover until it's too late. A truth that will either break you or finally set you free. Comfort is a cage built by cowards. You ever pet a lion behind glass? Feels safe, right? But that's not a lion anymore. That's a shadow of what it once was. That's what comfort does to you. It takes your instincts, your hunger, your edge, and it dulls them with soft pillows and participation trophies. You trade your teeth for likes, your raw for routine. The problem? Comfort disguises itself as success. It convinces you that as long as you're not failing, you're doing fine. That just paying the bills and avoiding pain is enough. But not failing isn't the same as winning. It's the middle-class mindset. Safe, predictable, dead inside. And society loves this. Because a comfortable man is a controllable man. He doesn't rebel. He doesn't build. He obeys, consumes, stays in his lane. You think the system's broken? No, it's working perfectly. It's just not designed for lions. It's designed for livestock. So what are you? Because if your days look like a loop of just survive and scroll, if your biggest battle is hitting snooze or not, if you're more afraid of judgment than mediocrity, you've been caged, my friend. And the worst part? You probably did it to yourself. You patted the walls, you threw away the key, and you told yourself it was balance. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you did something that actually scared you? Not made you nervous scared, I mean gut churning. What if I fail? This could break me, scared. If you don't remember, that's not a life. That's a holding cell. Discomfort reveals who you really are. There's a reason most men avoid discomfort, because it exposes them, not in some poetic motivational post way, in a raw gut-level strip-you-bare kind of way. See, discomfort doesn't just challenge your character, it reveals it. You can fake it when life's easy. Smile at work, post gym selfies, talk about mindset. But when the bills stack up, when your relationship's on the edge, when the plan falls apart and no one's coming to save you, that's when the real you shows up. Let me ask you, who is that man? Is he steady or panicked? Is he grounded or reactive? Is he capable or does he crumble under pressure? Most men don't know because they've never been tested deep enough to find out. That's the danger of living soft. You go decades thinking you're solid until life hits and you shatter. You think strength is flexing in the mirror? No. Strength is how you behave when no one's clapping. When it's 3 a.m. and you're alone with your thoughts, your failures, your guilt, and you still get up and move. And let me tell you something else. Discomfort reveals your addictions, not just the substances, the little ones. Validation, attention, comfort, control. When you're uncomfortable, the mask slips, and what you really crave starts bubbling up. And that's a gift. Because once you see it, you can break it. But if you keep chasing ease, you'll never meet that version of yourself. So stop avoiding the pain. Get under the weight. Sit in the silence. Walk into the storm, not because it's noble, but because it's the only place you'll ever meet the man you were born to become. Stop negotiating with yourself. Let me say it straight. Your weakness is living in your negotiation. You feel tired, so you skip the workout. You feel anxious, so you scroll for an hour. You feel stressed, so you binge instead of build. And every time you do that, you reinforce a contract with mediocrity. Let me make it brutally clear. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a commitment to a code. And most of you treat it like a mood. The moment resistance shows up, you start negotiating. I'll start tomorrow. It's okay, I did enough. This one time won't matter. All lies. Small, deadly lies that add up like poison in your bloodstream. Want to know how to spot a weak man? He's constantly explaining himself to himself. Winners don't negotiate with excuses. They execute regardless of mood, energy, or emotion. They don't need motivation. They have a mission. And missions don't wait for perfect conditions. Every morning you wake up, you're in a war. Not against the world, against the version of you that wants to stay safe, soft, and silent. And that voice, that weak inner monologue, it speaks your language, it knows your triggers, it plays nice, but it's trying to kill your future. You need to be ruthless. No compromise, no debate, just decisions. You train, you build, you lead, you stay focused because it's non-negotiable. And yeah, it's uncomfortable, but comfort is the devil whispering in a luxury robe. You want to change your life? Start with this rule. If it's aligned with who you want to become, do it. If it's not, don't. No bargaining, no drama, just action. That's the difference between men who rise and men who stay average. If this is hitting you, good. That means you're waking up. This isn't a channel for spectators, it's for men building legacies. If you're tired of playing small and want to become the kind of man who thrives under pressure, make sure you subscribe. The world doesn't care how you feel. Let me drop something cold on you. The world is not your therapist. It doesn't care about your backstory. It doesn't care how you feel today. It doesn't care if you're tired, broken, misunderstood, or emotionally overwhelmed. Life is a battlefield. And battlefields don't hand out tissues, they hand out tombstones. So if you're still expecting life to wait for you to heal, to feel ready, or for your situation to be perfect, you're already losing. That sounds harsh, but guess what? Harsh builds muscle, harsh builds character, harsh makes winners. Let me ask you something. When's the last time a competitor paused the game because you weren't in the mood to play? Never, because this world rewards results, not reasons. And right now, you've got too many reasons. Too many yay, but too many, I just need time. Time is merciless. And it's not checking in on your emotions. While you're debating whether you feel like doing the work, someone else is doing it sleep-deprived, stressed, heartbroken, but still doing it. And that's the difference. The men who rise aren't the ones who feel the best. They're the ones who act anyway, through the fog, through the fear, through the doubt. Because here's what no one's telling you. Consistency without emotion is how men become legends. You don't need to feel good. You need to honor your standard. You don't need clarity. You need conviction. You don't need support. You need self-respect. The world doesn't hand out medals for intentions. It hands them out for execution. So stop waiting to feel better. Start moving through the fire. Because if you can learn to operate under pressure, to stay sharp when your world's falling apart, to execute when every cell in your body says rest, you become dangerous. And a dangerous man doesn't beg for opportunities. He becomes the opportunity. Chase the fire. Don't avoid it. Let me break your programming. You're not supposed to be avoiding discomfort. You're supposed to be chasing it. Every time something scares you, every time it makes your palms sweat, your heart race, your mind scream. That's the signal you're near the edge of who you used to be. And that edge, that's where evolution happens. But you've been taught to back away, taught to interpret stress as danger, to treat every uncomfortable moment like a trauma trigger. Let me be real with you. The people who win in this life don't just endure the fire, they seek it. They pick the heavy weight at the gym. They choose the harder path in business. They walk into difficult conversations. They wake up before the excuses kick in. Because here's what they understand. Fire doesn't burn them, it brands them. It imprints grit into their soul. It welds discipline into their bones. It forces their old self to die and makes space for the new. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture a blacksmith forging a sword. He heats the metal until it glows, then hammers the hell out of it, over and over, again and again. Heat, pressure, pain. That's not abuse. That's how steel is born. And you're still raw material until you've been through your own fire. So don't just dip your toe into discomfort. Run toward it. Cannonball into it. Live in it. Because the fire won't destroy you. It'll reveal who the hell you were meant to be. And if you don't chase the fire, you'll spend your life watching men who did, while wondering why you feel so empty inside. Comfort is a lie, sold to keep you small. Let's get something straight. You've been sold a dream that's slowly killing you. Find balance. Take it easy. You deserve to rest. Don't be too hard on yourself. Sounds nice, right? Like a warm bath and a motivational quote wrapped in a hug. But here's the truth. Comfort is a marketed drug, and you've been getting high on it for years. It's not just a feeling, it's a strategy, a weapon. Comfort is how they keep you tame. It's how society convinces strong men to sit down, shut up, and settle. You know why? Because a man addicted to comfort never starts revolutions. He doesn't take risks. He doesn't challenge systems. He doesn't protect, build, or lead. He works his job, watches his Netflix, eats his Uber Eats, scrolls his TikTok, sleeps in, and dies wondering why he never fell alive. But hey, at least he was comfortable, right? Listen, this world doesn't need more comfortable men. It needs dangerous men with discipline, men who choose discomfort on purpose, men who would rather suffer for a mission than rot in a mansion. Because here's the real punchline. You weren't born for comfort, you were born for conquest. Your DNA remembers the hunt, the war, the struggle, the mountain, and until you return to that, until you put yourself in situations where your soul gets scraped raw and rebuilt stronger, you'll always feel like something's missing. It's not anxiety, it's not depression, it's not burnout. It's your spirit starving for challenge. So stop swallowing the lie that comfort is peace. It's not, it's sedation. And the longer you stay numb, the more violently life will shake you when it finally decides to wake you up. Here's the truth. The real you is buried under the bullshit you keep avoiding. You ready for this? The version of you that's powerful, disciplined, respected. The one you fantasize about when no one's watching. He already exists, but he's buried under your comfort, your excuses, your habits, your addiction to ease, likes, and feeling safe. And every day you avoid discomfort, you stack more dirt on top of him. That's the truth no one wants to say. You're not lost. You're buried by your own hand. But here's the twist. You're also the shovel. You're the one who gets to dig. Every rep, every hard choice, every cold shower, every 5 a.m. alarm, every moment of self-control when the weaker version of you wants to come back from the dead, that's the shovel. That's how you unearth your real self. And when you do, you don't even recognize him, because he's stronger, sharper, calmer, focused, unshakable. He's the kind of man other men want to follow, not because he's loud, but because his presence speaks volumes. You don't find that man by reading books or quoting stoicism. You become him through fire. So here's your final truth. You've been searching for answers, but the real answer is suffering on purpose. And once you learn to love that, there's no version of you the world can break. Let's bring it all together. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to be sharp, tested, battle ready, because life is going to throw storms, setbacks, trails, and failure at you. Not to break you, but to shape you. So let this be your new standard. Discomfort isn't punishment, it's power. Pain isn't the enemy, it's your entrance exam. Comfort isn't peace, it's the padded cell that kills your purpose. And if you want more, if you want to become the kind of man who doesn't just survive chaos, but commands himself through it, then it starts now, right here, with whatever you've been avoiding. Go towards it, do the hard thing, earn the right to meet the man you were designed to be. Master discomfort, and you master yourself. And a man who owns himself, he doesn't chase power, he becomes it.